In this video, I want to talk about a trade that I did on the Aussie dollar. And before I talk about this in more detail, I'm going to bring up the trade for you on my journal so you can take a look at it. So here's the trade. Now this was a scalp trade from the high of the week. Okay, so we've got this massive pump up, hit the high of the week, which is where I shorted. And all I was looking for was 25 pips, okay? Now, size, 50 lot, okay? So quite a significant size. I'm not expecting anyone watching this video to be able to trade that size. This is the kind of size that you trade when you are very confident in your system, okay? Now, there's the trade there. So the entry was up around this 65.25 area. You can see that entry there. It's a sell order. And profit target was down to the 65.00 level. You can see that's the exit and a nice profit in one single trade. Okay, this was done on the 24th of April. Okay, 2024. Now, the question here is not really why I entered in the trade. That I'll certainly answer, but there comes a time when you can enter with size, and that's what I want to talk about. Why was I so confident in this trade working out that I added size? Okay, so let's walk through that. Now, what's important also is that you watch my video on the euro scalping trade where I talk about gaps, because I'm going to talk about that strategy in this video, because all of my scalping trades are based on that strategy. Okay, the difference with this specific entry and why I was able to enter with size and have confidence in the trade is to do with being in line with a larger time frame, the daily chart, but still using that strategy I discussed in the euro scalping trade video. Okay, so make sure you watch that, because otherwise this one won't make any sense. So I'm going to switch over now to the daily chart of the Aussie. Okay, and I want you to see a couple of things here. Okay, again, you really need to watch that video that I did on the euro scalping trade to understand this strategy. Let's first look at the Aussie move down, right? The Aussie move down. I want you to ask yourself the question, why did this move down in the Aussie on the daily chart stop there at 64? Why didn't it keep going? Well, the answer to that question is that there is this massive bar. Let me see if I can draw a shape around it. This massive up bar, right? I've drawn a green box around it where the market has made this massive move. This is back in November of 2023. And there has been a massive imbalance left in the market. Okay, and if you don't know what I'm referring to there, you need to watch that video that I have mentioned, which is a euro scalping trade video. Now, if I move my square over to the right, you can see that the Aussie has come into that area, and that's where it stopped and found support. Okay, and again, there's more examples of this on the euro scalping trade video in the channel, so go watch that. Okay, and so it's a scientific and objective support area where the market comes down and finds support. It's come down and it's actually reaching for that level because the market needs to rebalance itself. Okay, now once it's found that support, then it starts to move up. Okay, and today was the day that it came into a very key level. If I make this bigger, I think you should be able to see why and answer the question, why did the market stop here? Well, if I draw a box around there, okay, so why did the market stop here? Well, then look to the right-hand side. Is there some kind of a gap where the market needs to reach into? And you can see that on this daily chart, if you look at the three candles that mark a gap, right, we can see there's definitely a gap. So price on this day moved down, so downside price delivery, and price moved down the next day and the next day, but price never moved up into that box to offer any buy side price delivery. So there was a gap in the market. And as price has now moved up today, it's found some resistance at that level. Now that is the level that I shorted. Okay. Now I didn't short exactly at that level. I let the market continue moving higher until I got a signal to go short right up here. Okay. At that level there. I'm not talking about specific entries right now, but that is why I had the confidence to add on size, because on the daily chart, the bigger time frame, there was a level of resistance that I was expecting the market to find some resistance at that level on the daily chart. Okay, and again, if you watch the Euro scalping strategy video on this channel, you'll understand that a lot better than what I'm explaining it here on the daily chart. But regardless of time frame, the rules are the same. The gaps offer support on the downside and resistance to the upside. Okay, now here's a couple of interesting things. We can clearly see, and I've spoken about this on the Euro scalping trade video, that this is now a shift in market direction on a daily chart. Okay, we now have the Aussie on the daily chart making higher highs. Okay, and this is where that move has started, right? And I would expect it to continue moving up to 66 to completely rebalance the market, where it's left some gaps on the way down, right? And so I'm expecting that the market will move up to this level. Now, it still needs to respect resistance and support levels. So I will expect now that we've come into this daily chart resistance level. Let me see if I can make this bigger so we can focus in. There we go. And my expectation is that we now start to move back down. Okay, and we might find some support in this gap here on this daily chart. Let's see if I can get rid of this line. Let me draw. So there's okay, so there's a gap here on this daily chart. But what I like to do is I like to find a gap closest to where this move started. That for me is higher probability. And that is this little area here where I've got that little blue line. I've already marked it on my chart. So I want to see the Aussie, and I'm expecting the Aussie to come down to that level. Okay, down to that 64.30 level, just under that 64.50 level. Okay, so that for me is a great level to buy. Okay, and this is not financial advice. Okay, this is for your education to learn about price action. That's what we're learning here. We're learning price action. So I am of the opinion that the market will now, this market, Aussie, will now reach for that level to rebalance the market. So we're talking about price action. That's what we're learning here. We're not learning how to trade, learning how to read price action. Okay. And I believe that when we get down to that level, okay, it should offer a support level. And the lesson is that we then should be headed higher to rebalance the market from when this down move occurred. Okay, that's what we're learning here, folks. We're learning about how to identify real support, real resistance levels based on the market gaps. Okay, this down move has moved at such force that it has not delivered a balanced market. There has been no efficient price delivery to the upside. Okay, price has not been delivered efficiently. Okay, and so the market needs to move to rebalance itself. Okay, so I want you to understand two things here. Number one, why I was confident in taking such a large position on my short trade on the Aussie today. I want to explain that because the daily chart showed a key resistance level that I have tested for myself and proven for myself that it works, which allowed me to short at that level. Okay. My expectation now is that the market needs to rebalance itself and start to move towards a support level. These support levels are not subjective, they are objective. You can clearly see them. Those gaps are clearly visible. Okay, I'm going to take away this line there so you can see why that's a gap there. Okay, so 3 candles, this candle, the middle candle, and this third candle. In between those, there is this middle candle going up, and it has not delivered any price to the downside inside of that box. Okay, you measure it from the wicks. Okay, so let me just make sure there, it might be there. On the daily chart, it's a little bit harder to draw. Okay, and so that to me is the next level where price should be reaching towards. But that's the trade. Okay, that's why I was able to short with size. Okay, and I've shown you the trade. The short was up around that level, covered at this level of the 25 pip scalp on a 50 lot. Okay, hope the video makes sense. Go and watch the Euro scalping strategy to better understand the reference to the gaps. Rewind this video, look at it yourself on a daily chart. Don't just watch the video for entertainment. You've got to go and look at this chart on your own computer, on your own charts. Otherwise, you will not be able to train your brain to identify these patterns in real time. Okay, this video is for education. It's for you to understand how price action behavior works in the real market. Okay, I will now talk with you in a future video.